We're going back in time, counting down the top 80 songs from the greatest pop music decade in the history of human civilization, the 1980s. You're listening to the 80 of the 80s podcast with your hosts, DJ CK1 and AK47.
So maybe his butt will hold it.
We have 2 hours and 37 minutes.
Oh, geez, let's hope we don't lose that. That would take forever.
Yeah.
Besides, in an hour, I have to go put the turkey in.
Right, because it's Thanksgiving.
Yee!
What are you thankful for?
I am thankful for... Well, obviously, the typical family and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What are you thankful for?
Culturally, not everything has gotten worse. For example, cartoons have been better in the last 20 years.
Yeah, there are some really good cartoons. Yeah, that's true.
Like Gravity Falls.
Yes,
and
yes.
Regular Show.
Yeah,
Granted, lots of that does rely on nostalgia, but...
It does. It does.
So your movies are worse. Music is worse by far.
Yeah, but this is all objective. I mean,
no. But this is why people listen for our objective opinion. So. Video games.
Oh, video games are so good.
They are, and I think a lot of ways. I mean, there's just so many third-party games coming out. They're very cheap, and they're really, there's just so much to play. Unfortunately, I do still go to Facebook because we have over 1,000 loyal Facebook followers. And, I really appreciate all the likes and feedback that we get from them. So I do go onto Facebook, and I did see somebody posted one time, asking, do you wish that we had social media back in the 80s?
Hell no.
That's it. Everyone was saying, no freaking no. And so it's just like, so that begs the question, like, why are you on social media now? If you thought that life was better before social media, why are you on it? With that being said, I do like YouTube. You have so much to choose from. You can delve back into a different time if you want. Like, you can go and watch commercials and a lot of older shows that maybe you've forgotten about and things like that, or at least watch the trailers to movies that have only exist on VHS.
Well, music videos even, being able to go back and watch a lot of the old music videos. Yeah, it's really great.
And I keep discovering stuff, so this is related to this episode, what number are we on? I don't even remember what number we are. It's been so long.
I know.
Yes,
it has.
We're down to number 35. So this is related to our 35 song, which is... I
have no idea.
Whoever
I know the band, but I don't know the song.
Yeah,
because I've been absolutely overwhelmed with how much of this band I've been hearing the last few months.
Right. So the band is
Erasure.
Yes, and the song is Stop. If you just go and search for Vince Clarke remix, you get so much stuff. He's done like hundreds of remixes.
And that's the thing. It's overwhelming.
Right. But usually he takes a song that's pretty good and makes it better. And then you could just find like so many little side projects that he and Andy Bell have done. You find a lot more stuff from the 80s that you just never even knew existed. And it's just such a deep decade. I'm thankful for YouTube in that regard. And another great thing about YouTube, this is a new feature that I've programmed into the Gobotron. I think instead of doing the word of the day, I think we should have a button that if we kind of get caught up and we have nothing to talk about, if there's an awkward moment, or if you just want to edit something out, you just press the button and we see a random 80s commercial. That might add some kind of spice to the show,
wait a second.
Some flavor.
Is this like the Walker lever on
Yes, that's
Conan?
where I got the idea, yes.
Hey, I'm not knocking it because I thought that was brilliant.
The Walker Texas Ranger lever?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like that.
Yes,
but it's a Gobotron button.
I'm down.
So I fed random 80s commercials and to the Gobotron.
All right. Can I push it just to see what happens? Can we test it?
Yeah, let's test it out. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I hate my mother. She's so much prettier than me.
Jordache Basics.
Your mother?
Have you ever seen her mother?
I have. I'm hoping she'll be divorced before I'm out of school.
Okay, so going back to the topic at hand, which is...
Erasure.
Erasure.
Not eraser. Is that right? Am I saying it wrong?
We did get some feedback recently
about how we get wrong.
It's one thing to say things wrong, but we keep apologizing for saying things wrong and talk about pronunciation.
People who listen to us know we don't know how to say stuff.
I'm trying to remember how in Britain how they say erasure. They say erasure.
Erasure. Erasure.
Erasure.
Erasure.
Erasure. Are you erasure?
It has to do with erasing.
That sounds about right.
That was
half the erasure songs I'd like to erase from my mind.
Oh man. Why? Why don't you like Erasure?
Okay, here's the thing. I just think a lot of their stuff sounds the same. I know they're a good band. I hear it. I get what you mean by that because I agree with you. They're very talented, but a lot of their songs sound the same to me. I can't be the only one who thinks that.
They've put over 200 songs, 17 albums. I do see what you mean. They're just a pop machine. There are so many variations, I guess, you can get out of the short pop song formula, and they've nailed it so many times. Delving into their catalog, I really have an appreciation of the complexity of a simple pop song and the many deviations it can take. I was thinking, like, how am I going to summarize all the Erasure experience? And again, they're really simple pop songs, but in a way, they're very complex, too. And there's so much nuance. And it's just really hard for me to describe and explain, like, why an Erasure song is better. One is better than another.
Yeah.
Because this is all about opinions.
It is.
Why is it the 20th century Erasure is so much better than the 21st century Erasure? And it's just really, it's been really difficult for me to dissect.
It's not to diss Erasure. I actually kind of do like them, but I get frustrated when I listen to a band, and I've listened to maybe 5 or 6 songs, but I can't really tell the difference, and I never remember the names of the songs because they all kind of sound the same to me. There are some Erasure songs that do stand out to me. They're probably the more popular ones, like Chains of Love, I think is a great song.
Yeah.
Respect, is that what it's called? That's a good
song.
A little respect.
Yes.
I mean, that song's okay. It sounds a little different, but you know, when you have a good thing, is having 30 of something similar when it's a good thing, is that bad? I don't know.
Or is it like you get to where what's the point?
Do you kind of get to where when it's blending and you can't even remember the name of the song, maybe that's a bad thing. I don't really know. I do know that for me personally, I never seek out Erasure ever, but if I'm with you and you're listening to Erasure, unless it's within the last few months where you've been listening nonstop, I'm like, hey, this is kind of nice to listen to.
Because of the quantity of their quality and the history, like Vince Clarke, he's one of the grandfathers of synth pop. So there's respect in that regard.
A little respect.
A little respect.
I'm just kidding.
Yes. I want to play a clip of The Godfather, Vince Clarke, talking about what makes a good pop song.
I mean, Erasure now, we've been together for almost 25 years, you know. And I think because we've always been more interested in the songwriting over style, that people really appreciate that, you know. Everybody likes a good tune.
I'm so in love with you. I'll be forever blue. That you give me no reason.
What makes a perfect pop song, do you think?
Something that has, obviously a catchy chorus, but also something that has a bit of tension in it, either with the lyric or with the disharmony. That then it's almost like then you get an emotional release when that goes away. That might be the chorus or something like that. That's to me is great writing.
Stand there where you are before you go too far.
Like, why is this your favorite Erasure song? What makes it different? Because I've been spending a lot of my time talking about how I think they're all sort of the same.
It was really hard for me to decide because, again, they have so many above average pop songs. I think Stop is probably just encapsulates one of their shortest songs ever. It just hits all the right notes. It's just a basic song about stop before you make a fool out of love. It starts up very quickly. I like how at the beginning you get the synthesizer spiral going on and then like one speaker then the next. When I want to test to see if my stereo's working properly, I can put that one on. Kind of like the beginning of New Order's Perfect Kiss is like that too. The chorus, it sounds like he's got some backing vocalist there to add more of a dramatic effect. It's got a little bit of a solo, it sounds like chiming bells. And then you get a brief moment where you just hear Vince's backing track, and it's like this bubbling sequencer machine. You know, this is like the motor that keeps it going and wants you to keep your butt moving. This was on EP back in '88, which was like the height of their British popularity. This was after they released The Innocents, which was their best-selling album. This was on their EP, Crackers International. And then not long after that, they came out with an EP called ABBA-esque, where Andy's favorite group is ABBA.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yes,
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, there was that video for Lay of Your Love on Me. Remember that video?
Wait, remind me, what was it?
Snow White.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Little Red Riding Hood finds that Snow White has eaten the apple and she's fallen asleep, and who to rescue her but Andy Bell. And so she calls the Erasure golden motorcycle phone, and then they're riding their motorcycles through the woods, and it's the hilarious photography. They're roasting a teddy bear on a spit.
I remember that.
Yeah, it's just like one of my favorite music videos.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
And so they did 4 ABBA covers. And so there's the ABBA tribute group called Bjorn Again, and they, not long after that, came out with a couple of Erasure covers, and they called it Erasure-ish. Instead of ABBA-esque, Erasure-ish. They did a cover of Stop, and I really liked their version of Stop. It was kind of based on the ABBA song, Does Your Mother Know?
We'll be together again. I've been waiting for a long time. We're gonna be together again.
Because Vince Clarke had some side projects back in the first half of the 80s. You know, and then there's Yaz, also known as Yazoo in the UK. I think musically, I like that period the best. Just the sound of it, because he was using more analog synths, more of the basic introductory stuff that came out.
Yeah.
Later on, he incorporated more, I guess at the time, what they would call modern technology. He says he doesn't really like digital and MIDI. And again, I'm not a synthesizer expert, but listening to a lot of his stuff from like the later 80s, it does sound like he's using sampling and MIDI stuff. Maybe eventually he got back away from that. The way it sounds, I like the earlier Vince Clarke better. That being said, I think the songwriting, and a lot of it can be attributed to Andy Bell too, the songwriting got much better when he was with Erasure.
I do think there's something about the combination of the two of them is kind of intriguing to see if a live performance of them. Andy Bell, he has so much energy. We talk about this all the time, these musicians with all this energy, and just really commits to it.
But then Vince, he's always kind of like the shy guy who wants to sit back there, and it's kind of like the Chris Lowe thing, like you don't even know why he's doing on the synthesizers. He's doing something back there.
But whatever he's doing is great.
Okay, there's 17 Erasure albums. I'm not going to do all of them. But I mean,
I'm not very sure that I can sit through all of that.
Okay, maybe it's the time for a commercial. Do you think? Before we start,
when you're ignoring my puns.
Okay.
Actually, I have to take a bathroom break, so let's do a commercial.
Okay, push the button.
You know, after today, we're never going to be the same again.
Jordache Basics.
It's not the end of the world. I'm only going to college.
Oh, come on. We both know what's going to happen. You're going to change.
Look, you could go too. It's not like you don't have the grades.
Oh, sure. 4 more years of school, right? Well, no thanks.
I have to at least do 10. My 10 favorite Erasure albums. I think it's better though if you, like usual, if you say them. So.
All right. Wonderland, 1985.
No. You do it by...
by the way, you've numbered them?
Yeah, we're going to start at 10. It's a countdown.
Is that I say?
Yeah, that's not number 10 though.
The Circus, 1987.
People are like, what? Only number 10? That was like their second album. That was during their golden era. No, I argue that it's not. The songwriting was just not there. Nothing really that memorable. Sometimes was like their first big hit in the UK. I'm not as crazy about that song. I think Victim of Love really saves it though. It kind of reminds me of Stop, but it's got a bit more of a guitar backing to it. But other than that, I think, you can just kind of pass on it.
Number 9. The Violet Flame, 2014. A newer one. Huh.
Is it so far out of touch? Like a million miles away?
Some of our listeners maybe haven't been keeping up with Erasure. Yeah, they keep putting out stuff. And one of the only things from the 21st century to really take notice of is maybe The Violent Flame, because that had a good balance. It's a very dance-oriented album. The production is decent. The songs are pretty good and pretty memorable. So The Violet Flame, that would be kind of the next step for someone who's getting into Erasure to kind of like see if they really like the later Erasure stuff.
Wonderland, 1985. This is number 8.
Listeners are probably like, Wonderland, that was their first album. That was back in 85. That was like the golden age of Vince Clarke. Again, I'm not as fond of like the synthesizers he was using at the time. The songs are very nursery rhymey, very sing-songy. Actually, Erasure, they've often said they wanted to do a concept album of nursery rhymes, and it kind of makes sense. Say anything you want about at least the album art, for the most part, is incredible. Kind of puts you in the setting of the sound of the album. And Wonderland, the cover of it, which is inspired by some old-timey children's illustrations, does kind of make you feel like you're going into a fairy tale. I just think the songs are very simple. My favorite on it is Circled.
Yes, it is. March on down the line.
That's an album track. It wasn't a single, but that's the one that when it comes on, I feel like going for a march. And yeah, let's get in together, folks, and let's get moving.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so number 7 from 1997, we have Cowboy. Yeehaw.
This is another one. It's just like Cowboy came out after the incredible self-titled album. I think it was kind of a backlash because their self-titled album was probably their most progressive and longest songs. And Cowboy, they kind of want to get back to basics. The production's great. It sounds great. The mix of songs there's not really that much that's memorable on it. What did I circle as my favorite on?
On Cowboy, Save Me Darling.
All together now, let's see you pray. Make it better now and save the day. I'm all over, save me, darling.
Kind of like March On Down the Line. It's a kind of album track in the later in the album that kind of saves it to make you think. Again, there's not any songs on it that are essential classics.
Number 6 from the year 2000. Love.
Exciting and new. Come aboard.
Technically, 2000 is still part of the 20th century. People don't realize that. So, uncharacteristically, Lobo is a very controversial album.
Why?
First off, Andy says it's weird. It's a little different. It's produced by Flood. Recognize that name?
Oh, sort of.
Depeche Mode?
Depeche Mode.
Violator?
Violator.
Right. So,
yes.
Yeah, so you'd think that'd be the perfect pairing. Flood and Erasure, and yet it doesn't really sound like a lot of other Flood's production.
Mm-hmm.
The bass is way too loud, too blaring. The synthesizers aren't as loud and pronounced. It sounds kind of muddled, and so people focus on the production sound. I think the songs are a better quality, and you have some interesting songs like Perchance to a Dream are mad as we are. They're one more quiet, but they're still not boring. And then they kind of fade into the catchier, more upbeat song. And my favorite on that was
Here in My Heart.
Right. That's all I have to say.
Isn't there like a Phil Collins
very-
song name, or is that Genesis? I
No,
get the
Phil
confused,
Collins,
I'm sorry.
You'll Be in My Heart. Yeah,
You'll Be in My Heart.
From the Target
Oh,
album.
sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he won the Oscar for it, though.
From 1989, number 5 is going to be Wild. Oh, and I agree with you on this song. I do like this song.
Which is
Blue Savannah.
Blue Savannah is a beautiful song.
Yeah.
It was very, very much in contention for this countdown. Almost was. That and A Little Respect were very, very tight contenders. Yeah, it's just a beautiful, yearning song. It just makes you feel like you're kind of like roaming across the desert in a happy but wistful, melancholy. It's just a bunch of emotions. And I just, if I was to give somebody a compilation, best of the 80s, a Blue Savannah would just fit with it perfect. Horrible video, of course, with just the blue hands.
Yeah.
The perspective of the blue hand moving around. Horrible video.
Wow. Oh, they could have done so much with that.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
You Surround Me. It's a good, slower, medium tempo song that's perfectly made for radio. There's some great moments on it. Brother and Sister should have probably been the lead-off track to the album. But there are some other weird songs that are weird but not in a good way. Probably the worst Erasure song ever is it called La Gloria or something?
La Gloria.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to do Mexican, Spanish, kitschy style song. It's freaking annoying. 2,000 Miles is like he's getting really sassy, and again, it's just more of an annoying side of Erasure. Those drawbacks keep Wild from being one of their best albums.
Number 4 from 1988, The Innocents.
Okay, yeah, this is their prime material right here. I think any of my top 4 albums
yeah,
could be
I agree.
considered some of the best albums of all time. The Innocents, it's almost like listening to a greatest hits compilation. Not Witch in the Ditch so much. That song is a little strange. They have a annoying instrumental. That's 65,000. Despite those low points, I mean, it's got a lot of great classic stuff. Like Phantom Bride, they still perform live a lot. That's kind of another crowd favorite. That was not a single. Those A Little Respect, Chains of Love, some of the best. Picking my favorite off of it, Chains of Love would be up there. So would Little Respect. Is a very simple tune. This is me personally. I just can't put it as high as my top 3. Weight of the World, it's another contender. That's another really good song.
So on The Innocents, would you choose A Little Respect or Weight of the World as your favorite?
I can't decide. It's like choosing between children.
I'm sure it's exactly the same. It is. Okay.
Yes.
So number 3 from 1992 is Chorus.
A lot of people say Chorus is their favorite. And it's good. It's quality, and it's... Oh, that's all I have to say. It's just a great collection, great songs. Sonically, it's probably one of their best moments. I think the technology got to a good point, and Vince knew what he was doing with it.
So what's your favorite track from that album?
Oh, it's hard to pick, but I'd have to go with Love to Hate You. It's one of the more unique songs.
Yeah, that is a good song.
The chorus is an instrumental chorus. It's almost like the same as the little instrumental part of I Will Survive. But still, I think it's used very cleverly. So.
I love to hate you. I love to hate you. I love to
Okay, number 2 is from 1995, Erasure. Oh my god.
What?
I thought that said Finger Me Gently. Oh my god. You really shouldn't have put those so close together, because I swear that says Finger Me Gently. Okay,
Right.
go ahead.
Vince Clarke, he likes prog rock. He likes Pink Floyd. One of his favorite albums is Trick of the Tail by Genesis. Listening to some of those songs, like Trick of the Tail, it would have been a pop song, but then they throw a long instrumental section in it that kind of adds more to the song and elongates it. Instead of a 4-minute song, you're getting more of an 8-minute song, let's say. So that's what Vince, he tried to do. He took Andy's shorter songs and he threw in these long instrumental sections. They're not really like great keyboard solos like what you would expect from Tony Banks or Rick Wakeman, but they're atmospheric. It's really a nice, pleasant journey to go on listening to the whole thing. It's a really long album. Me picking my favorite, it's like Fingers and Thumbs is one of those, it should have been a huge hit. But then also like Rock Me Gently, that's probably one of my favorite Erasure ballads. It's really slow and atmospheric. It's like you're listening to Hearts of Space. You feel like you're looking up at the stars. Kind of like starts fading back into the song, and slowly the stars are poking their head out. Jumps in with Andy Bell backed by a choir with the final chorus.
And I dream I'm with you. You hold me sweetly and rock me gently to sleep in your arms. I dream you're with me.
And that moment right there is one of my favorite musical moments ever. Because of that reason, I can't decide what my favorite is. It's either Fingers and Thumbs or Rock Me Gently.
You have me on Rock Me Gently.
Yeah.
After saying that, it's I mean a 10-minute Erasure song. I mean that you gotta listen to it just because it's different.
Yeah, and I think their self-titled album, I think it sold poorly compared to their albums before it, and they kind of took that as like, oh no, we need to knock off this experimental ambient stuff. So Vince Clarke went and did some ambient side project. He did even with Mark Gore.
Did you say Martin?
Martin Gore, and then he also did a project with Martin Ware of Heaven 17. With just the ambience alone it's not enough to ground me. And you have those bookends of the pop song. So that's why I wish Erasure would do more projects like their self-titled album.
A little bit different.
I wish they would have continued on with that.
Yeah. No, that would give them a little bit more complexity to their overall collection.
Right, more variety. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I say before we do your number one, let's hear a commercial.
Would you ever pose for nude pictures?
Jordache Basics.
Whoa, wait a minute. Gobotron, cut it out with this Jordache crap.
Hi, I'm Gret, the founder and CEO of DonorSee, And today I need your help. Whenever there is a global pandemic like this, it's always the poorest people on the planet who get hit the worst. In partnership with our on-the-ground aid workers all over the planet, and with your help, we can lessen the blow of COVID-19 for the poorest members of our global community. We've set up a special page on DonorSee, so just go to DonorSee.com/coronavirus and you'll see immediate and urgent needs that you can address right now in real time. Whenever you donate to one of these needs, you'll always get a video update just like with every other project on DonorSee. If you're feeling the same uncertainty that I feel about the coronavirus and you feel like it's big and scary and there's nothing you can do about it, there is. Go to DonorSee.com/coronavirus, and together we can work on lessening the blow of COVID-19 for the poorest members of our planet. Thank you.
Who's got the look? Yeah, yeah. You got the look.
Jordache Basics.
Jordache.
The number one album from 1994. I say.
If that ever told me that I found you love in every way.
I Say. I love this. Ex-girlfriend.
That's okay.
It's okay to talk about ex-girlfriend.
You had a life before me?
I have
Damn
one.
you.
I have one.
Remember that late night last September when you held me in your arms so tight.
Because I thought, oh, you're totally going to dig Erasure, you know? Like, come on. Like, what girl wouldn't like these happy, upbeat pop tunes?
Yeah.
I want to make a best of, but so many of these songs on my best of compilation come from I Say. I'll just give you the I Say album, and then I'll give you a compilation of everything else.
I know that you love me.
That's what I did. And she said, oh, I really like that I Love Saturday song. And then I dated a girl after that. Sorry, but I did.
Oh, no, another one?
And she said, oh, I really like I Love Saturday. So I guess girls dig that tune, I Love Saturday.
I guess so, yeah.
Was the showers I good with this foolish heart?
First off, the cover kind of sets the mood. It reminds me of Sleeping Beauty. It's like cartoon enchanted forest. The singles were the same scene but of different seasons, like you get an autumn version of it. Yeah, on the album it's at night, and then so you get another one where it's like daytime, like in the spring. You feel like you're entering a fantasy land, kind of like Wonderland. And the first track, Take Me Back, which is probably one of my favorite songs ever, starts off kind of like, you hear the little bloopiness of Vince Clarke. Starts out kind of slow, and you think, oh, this is going to be like one of those more emotive Erasure songs. It ranches up and just feels like you're on this wonderful, wistful journey through the butterflies and flowers and rainbows and all that good, happy stuff.
Take me back to the place where I once belonged. This could be any place, a place where you and I could sing this song. Take me back.
You're in the world of My Little Pony or Rainbow Bride or something,
I knew you were a brony.
No, I'm not. Okay, I can appreciate some of that girly stuff.
Yes.
I'm not saying I am to it, but anyway.
I got you.
At the very end, when the song fades away and the book of this fairy tale is being shut, then the last thing you hear is this little bit of magic pixie dust. Raining down, yeah.
chorus from the deepest part of my heart.
I think like the song The Man on the Moon, it's about how if you're feeling down, you look up at the moon and it makes you feel better. And the last line of it is,
The man up in the moon is shining, good fortune down on me.
the man at the moon is shining, good fortune down on
Up
me.
in the moon is shining, sweet love, sweet love.
And sometimes I think about this, like sometimes when I'm walking out at night, and sometimes at night I feel kind of down. Like if I'm walking to or from the car or taking out the garbage or something, I look up and I see the full moon, and I think that the man on the moon, he's shining good fortune down on me.
I think of the Happy Birthday Moon book.
But it's kind of melancholy too.
It is.
Because the moon
They kind of go
doesn't-
hand in
yeah.
hand, the song and the book.
Yeah.
It's like a happy combination.
But it kind of makes you feel sad because he thinks that the moon is his friend when the moon
Yeah.
doesn't. He's really
It's just his echo.
The bear is listening to the echo. But that's kind of the way I guess life is that, you know, there really maybe isn't a man on the moon. He isn't really giving you good luck and fortune, but you kind of want to believe that. Maybe by believing that you can kind of trick yourself into being in a good mood.
But you know, I side with Wallace and Gromit. I'm really hoping the moon's made of cheese.
Right. We would never have a cheese shortage. Heck, I mean, cheese
man.
prices would just plummet. Fat and protein for everybody.
Can we listen to a commercial break while I get some
Well,
cheese?
speaking about cheese, Erasure.
Cheesy!
Yes.
This world's really screwed up.
Jordache Basics.
You can't breathe the air, you can't drink the water.
There's a lot of things you can't do anymore.
Sure. It's all you guys think about.
I'm serious, the older generation really messed things up.
They made you, didn't they?
The album
I say
was produced by Martin Weir of Heaven 17, his good friend of Vince Clarke, and he understood the appeal of the classic synthesizer sound. And so you can hear all the synths, all the layers. Andy's voice is smack on, and because of that, and because of this album, everything lines up perfectly. I do think Run to the Sun maybe is not like the ultimate dance techno track, but Erasure is not really meant to make Pet Shop Boys type dance anthems, I don't think. You know, they're like a different animal.
Although they do have a lot of songs like that, though. Like dancey.
No, they try to go.
Yeah.
Talking about some of their later material, their worst album, I think, Tomorrow's World, where they do try to go into more of the modern dance. They got producer Franken Music to go through the material. It's almost like a wall of sound. Too many layers mashed together. Andy's voice, it sounds like really off, and he uses auto-tune.
Ooh, he doesn't need auto-tune.
No,
you know?
he doesn't, no. So Tomorrow's World, I think, is the worst album. In contrast to I Say, this is Erasure trying to be something else.
Yeah.
Trying to make it one last pitch into the pop charts or the dance charts or the club charts or whatever. That doesn't work. No, I need to talk some more about Erasure, right?
Okay.
I got plenty more to say.
I'm not Erasure. I can handle that.
So that's much of the problem about a lot of their new material. Nightbird is really boring, slower songs. World Be Gone, which I've done a review of on a past episode. Lots of slower, more boring songs. Andy's voice is going out. It's not quite the strength of what it used to be. I think he oversings. He's trying to be soulful, and he carries the notes too long. I guess I'll just finish it off with their newest album, The Neon, which came out a few months ago. I've often thought much of my complaint about the newer Erasure is that it's overproduced. The Neon is more simple and stripped down, and you would think that would be good. But still, the songs are just not there. I mean, the lyrics are just the typical love stuff. Yeah, you know, that's what you expect from Erasure, just love songs. But the melodies aren't there. Nothing really like you want to bite into. I can't really think of what my favorite song is off the new album. It's good. It's better than like 90% of everything out there, but that's not saying much.
I'm Erasure that I need to go put the turkey in.
Hey, it's Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Let's take that break so you can do your turkey, and then we'll be right.
Jordache Basics.
What happened to him?
He's been hurt.
He's probably
Pick him up. No. We have to get help. I don't think we should move him.
Leave him down.
We just saw him. Quick, give me your jacket. Hurry, hurry. Mike, wake up. Wake it up. Do something.
What are you gonna do? He's an old man.
Somebody. Are we too late? Is he gonna be all right?
I'm going to take it down a notch here for just a moment. How long has it been since Bill and Ted came out? The third one? They faced the freaking music. How long has it been?
Since Bogus Journey came out in 91?
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying how long has it been since Bill and Ted Face the Music came out? It's been like...
Oh, it was the summer, wasn't it? In July? Oh, August 1st.
No, it was August. Okay.
August 20th.
So I'm a big Bill and Ted fan.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people say Bogus Journey was a dumb movie, but I see the appeal. I see the funniness in it, and I love that movie.
Yeah, watching it again...
Yes.
It's a fun movie. I don't like the part where they go up to heaven.
I'm sorry, no.
A bit of a it was a bit slow, and then the part where they're like making the robots and Station gets to be a giant.
Okay,
and a lot of that doesn't make any sense. I mean, even for a supernatural comedy, it doesn't make any sense.
I can feel you a little bit on Station, okay, but they take the Grim Reaper into heaven, and Death stands in front of God and said,
Sorry. They Melvined me.
Sorry, they Melvined me. That is one of the greatest moments to me. I don't understand how you cannot like that. But regardless of Bogus Journey, what did you think of the third one? Because we drove an hour away to see it.
In the theaters, yeah.
In the theater. And then we know
the only
with
theater
COVID,
in Tennessee that was showing it.
Yeah, we were living, which we don't live in Tennessee anymore. But when we were living in Tennessee and we went to see this movie, no one was showing it because of COVID. A lot of theaters were shut down. So we drove over an hour to see this movie, and we were the only ones in the theater besides another elderly couple. I was really, really skeptical because I tend to not like movies where like the main characters have children who come into the movie and they try to make the children have big roles. Do you know what I mean? Because I think that can really kind of go south a lot of times. And I was also really skeptical because clearly in the second movie, Bogus Journey, when they had babies, they were boys. Yeah. They were meant to be sons,
Bill
and here they
and
are
Ted.
with daughters. And I was just kind of like, I don't really know what direction they're going to take this, but I was surprised. I liked it. I thought they did it really well. I ended up liking the daughters more than I thought I would.
I like Rufus, his daughter.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised by it. I thought it was pretty good.
You know, I would like to watch it a second time.
Yeah.
I have the theory that, you know, the critics thought it was pretty good. They liked it because, hell, it's so much better than like 90% of everything else they're releasing these days.
Yes.
I've heard the criticism of Keanu Reeves' performance. He seemed like he wasn't really into it, while the other guy, Bill Weathers, what's the name of the...
Alex Winter.
Alex Winter. Not
Bill Weathers, very good.
Nice guess. Yeah, Alex Winter.
He was amazing.
He was
so good.
He was really into it. He was great. I think when you go back and look at it, it'll be kind of remembered the same way that Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey is, or Gremlins 2. At the time when you watch it, at first you're like, I don't know. I kind of felt more of the warm and fuzzies for the first movie, maybe. Over time, over the years, you look back on it and it's like, that was a crazy ass movie. It was a wild ride. It was lots of fun.
It was awesome. I'll tell you one reason why I really like it. I don't really keep up with a lot of movies these days, but it seems to me that movies that are coming out now, they have to be like 3 hours long, and they have to tell this really in-depth story of all this I miss the days of being able to go to the movie theater, see an hour-and-a-half movie that's just good-hearted, fun story to watch with this almost sort of cheesy ending that just really worked, you know?
Yeah,
it was just a good-hearted, fun movie to watch.
The ending was really cheesy, but I guess it's the only thing they could have done
to
wrap it up.
That, especially this year with all this crap going on, people, you know, whatever. But to wait that long for this movie to come out, I was impressed. I liked it.
And yeah, it was unpredictable. I don't think you really knew what they were going to do. what kind of twist they were going to throw in. Again, I'm thinking about like your typical Marvel movie or computer animated movie. They're very predictable. Even though they're overlong and overdone, they're always following the same story structure. You can almost anticipate what's going to happen next. You know, the ebb and flows of your emotion during the movie. You didn't know what to expect. You
And
didn't
we're
know where
not
it's going to
spoiling
take you
it.
next. Right,
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it.
We're
So
not.
watch it if you haven't seen it. It's
Hey,
worth it.
And death.
You must play me again.
What?
Best 2 out of 3.
No way!
Yes way.
Oh my God, they bring Death back, and I was just, oh my God.
Because
I love Death.
He's one of the best characters ever.
He's absolutely one of the greatest characters in any movie franchise ever. I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but you're wrong.
Maybe he wasn't in it as much as I would have liked him to be into it,
Yeah.
but then again, maybe they didn't overdo it.
There wasn't enough death. That's definitely true.
More death.
We want
That's why
more
we need
death.
2020. We need more death.
More death. No, but I do tend to agree that Keanu Reeves seemed a little, maybe he's played too many serious roles since then, and he's just not as loose and kind of goofy as maybe he was. I still thought he did okay.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have to do it. He didn't have to do it. He probably didn't get paid hardly anything for it.
Yeah,
I think the movie probably lost lots of money too, sadly.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. No,
yes.
it was good. I was really happy to have that sort of shining moment during the summer where we weren't really able to do much because everything was closed. We have to talk about death, man. Speaking of death, I know this isn't going to be a common thing every podcast where we're going to talk about deaths because people die. I mean, it's horrible to say that, but people die all the time.
Baby boomer generation produced so much incredible music. It's probably musically the best generation ever. But they're getting up into their 60s and 70s. And
yeah, but there are some that I think are going to hit a little bit harder than others. And back in April, Florian Schneider from Kraftwerk died. And I really needn't say any more because that sucks.
Even the greatest stars live their lives in the looking glass.
All right, sucks.
I don't really know what else to say.
You know what else sucks?
It sucks.
Whoa, they suck big time.
You know what else sucks? We were just watching the Macy's parade.
How did we go from Florian to the Macy's parade?
Because
but I'm going with it because
it's a current music topic.
No, I've thought about this because I knew we were going to record, and I thought, what am I going to say about Florian? But it sucks. I don't really know what else to say. But he was older. I mean, and like you said, a lot of the musicians that we like from that generation are they're going to start dying, and I'm not going to have words when Ralph passes either. So we need to talk about Macy's before I start to cry. Talk about Macy's Day Parade. I never thought I would say that.
When I woke up, our son Holden was excited to watch the parade. I said, I'm not going to say this year, I'm not going to say anything cynical or negative.
You're not going to criticize the musicians.
Anything about the parade or about the commercials that they showed during the parade, or the commentary, or the choice of the balloons. I can't help it.
You lasted about 30 seconds. I was actually proud of you.
But one of the balloons was Boss Baby. Like, what? How many kids out there are clamoring, I want to see a Boss Baby balloon? How many kids are out there? I want to see a Ginny O float. And I know it's all about corporate sponsorship.
Jordache Basics.
I will say a couple things about the Macy's parade. The very first float they showed, out next to the turkey, they show the turkey first, obviously. The Ryan kid, what's his name? What's the Ryan?
Toy Box.
It's a YouTube dude.
Ryan Toy Box.
There's some kid. There's some YouTube star. Ryan something. Oh my God! He has a float. He has a balloon. Our son watched that kid for a little while, and I thought he was the most annoying little twat.
Ryan Toy Review.
I just think he and his mom, they're so freaking annoying. I'm sorry. You get a balloon in the parade? Why? He's like Kim Kardashian. Why is he famous?
It's corporate sponsorship. The dude answered why he's famous is because we were praising YouTube earlier. I was saying I was thankful for YouTube. But the videos that are most popular on YouTube, the series, are the ones that are most annoying. For whatever reason, annoying stuff sticks with the younger generation, and it makes them want to click more and more and more annoying.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Things. So
really
if you look at YouTube stars that have become famous, and a lot of them have gotten like regular cable TV shows and things, it doesn't really translate well into like a 30-minute episode. I mean, heck, even Annoying Orange. Remember, he had that show?
Yes. Oh,
now
my gosh.
He's on YouTube doing
That's not really
game
surprising.
reviews. Yes. So
I will say, though, in defense of the Macy's Day Parade, I think everyone's allowed to have their own opinions about COVID and how it's being handled. It's being handled different ways all throughout the world. But I do respect the fact that they still went on with the parade. I was concerned that they just weren't going to do it at all.
Right.
I really respect the fact that they went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
I think that that's good. If anything, today we need some positivity. So I'm glad that they went ahead and pushed forward with it.
Yes.
In saying that, in watching the parade, I'm like you. I'm trying really hard not to be negative and cynical about it.
Let's be negative. Let's wallow in our misery.
It's really hard. Okay. It's kind of sad when a Pokemon song comes on and you're relieved to hear it, or even the Temptations. Like, I'm not a huge Motown fan, but to hear the Temptations and come on and sing some Temptations songs was refreshing.
Oh, it was such a contrast of all the other crappy music they were playing.
It's complex.
It sounds like somebody, like some engineer, put it together in the proper manner, but it flows like it's just done naturally. Yes.
The thing is, like, I've been homeschooling our children since we've moved recently. I've been teaching them music, and I'm really trying to be completely open-minded about it and not be biased, and teach them that just because I don't like a certain genre of music doesn't mean that it's not valid and valuable. I've been listening to a lot of newer artists today, what's popular, top 40 type of stuff. I want to teach my children the classics and what's current and everything and the different types of music, and it sucks.
Whoa, that sucks big time.
It sucks.
That sucks.
Back in like the 80s, 70s, 90s, the era, you could hear the differences in the styles of music. In the 90s is a really good example. Grunge and alternative, they sounded different. Country sounded different. Pop sounded different. It all sounded different.
And rap.
Rap. Even like the teeny boppers, like the Britney Spears and the NSYNCs and all that.
Techno.
They all had very distinct, different sounds. Even though you might have not liked country necessarily, or NSYNC, or Nirvana, or whatever it was in that time period, you could still at least respect the fact that they had a sound. They sounded different. It was great. Now, the country sounds like the pop sounds like the rap sounds like the alternative, it all sounds the same. Now, some people might say that is a good thing because it shows that we're being accepting of different types of music and all this stuff or whatever, I don't know. But for me, I don't like that. It all sounds auto-tuned. It all sounds like people just plopped their asses in front of a computer to make a song. What happened to the days of like going into a recording studio with instruments and recording a song? Like, I think about Rush. I don't know why Rush comes to mind first. But Geddy Lee would stand there with like a guitar around him singing at a keyboard. That's talent. That takes a lot of work. I'm being so cynical and critical, but it's really hard to teach my kids about music today because I don't really consider it to be music a lot of times. Not all of it. I know there's some good stuff out there, but where is it?
And I think another word is, and this is one reason why I didn't like Erasure's Tomorrow's World album, is compression. Ironically, actually, I do compress this podcast a little bit, like when we're speaking, so everything's on the same level.
Yeah.
But music should not be on the same level.
We watched this video on YouTube about the evolution of music, and I mean, it went all the way back to like 500 BC or something. It was so in depth. It was really interesting. But you could sort of hear, as time goes on, the advancing in like technology and stuff. All of a sudden there's introduction of like string instruments and the flutes come out. It was just really amazing to hear. But you listen to like some of the Baroque music and the Romantic era and classical, and then you listen to the music today. And I know that it's completely different time periods and everything, but there was so much complexity to the music back then. They really took the time to make the sounds and make it sound beautiful and kind of flow. And now it sounds like they're just taking one beat, whatever kind of beat they're using, and they're just mumble rapping over it and adding a little bit of auto-tune and adjustment and compressing it, and boom, there's you a song.
Yeah.
I just don't think that is good music.
Whoa, that sucks big time.
No.
That
I don't think it's talent. There are some people out there who can sing pretty well, but how do you really know? They're being auto-tuned to death. I would love to have faith in the musical community now because I'm losing it. It's really sad.
Right. So going back to the Macy's Parade, featured the group, this is the top alternative group, AJR. And granted, what's the deal with all these acronyms? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the letters, but no.
They're supposed to be alternative. They sound just like everything else.
They sounded like, almost sort of like hip-hop to me. That's not alternative sounding. Maybe we're just, maybe are we old? Maybe we're just old fuddy-duddies. That could be part of it.
Yeah.
Remember when I was a kid.
Our listeners are old fuddy-duddies too. Back in the 87 Macy's Parade, they featured a float with Barbie and the Rockers. I was watching this with my grandfather and my mother. The song that the Barbie and the Rockers performed was Born with a Mic in Our Hand. And my grandfather said, this is so repetitive. They keep saying the same phrase. And my mother said, that's the way music is these days. It's just not nearly as good. And my grandfather was like, yeah, you're right. It's very subjective.
Maybe so.
It's hard to paint these broad generalizations because on this broadcast today, they had, this is from the multi-Tony Award winning musical, and it's based on an album from the 90s. And so you think this might be good.
Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette.
Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, the musical. And we're like, yeah, so you can't say everything from the past is good, because we're like, oh man, of all things, why do we do Alanis Morissette musical?
I don't know.
Well, they suck big time.
Yeah,
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah.
Rock over London, rock over Chicago, Taco Bell, make a run for the border.
I need to go turkey it up, man.
And I have to talk about Joy Electric, okay?
We wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Merry Christmas, everybody. Lots of love from Andy and Vince, and we'll see you next year on tour.
If I could just bring this all back to Erasure again, one of the reasons why I have a hard time dissecting the quality of Erasure, and there are different phases, it might all sound the same, but there are little intricacies about it. One thing always comes up is Joy Electric.
Joy Electric Light.
Because I've always thought Joy Electric is more Erasure than Erasure. If you don't know who Joy Electric is, I definitely do think that any fan of 80s synth pop really needs to check them out. Actually, Joy Electric is mostly just Ronnie Martin. Oh shoot, he's done like a dozen albums. But he is such a synth purist. He only will do analog synths. His first couple albums, he did have a drum machine and sequencer maybe. For most of his albums, he'll just hit the key, boom, 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 manually he will play the beats. And he's got so many layers, so many bleeps and blips and intricacies going on and everything, and it's almost like it's a little too much. Maybe it's too much of a good thing. I don't know.
Can you have too much of a good thing though?
Maybe. It's just like, it is ear candy, because you can like listen to Joy Electric and it sounds like you're playing like old school video games, And it sounds like robots from Saturn. And so I love that, but in a way, maybe it's too much.
I don't know. It's like the rings of Saturn, the layers. It's like the pleasure planet.
The pleasure planet, yes.
Speaking of Saturn, isn't there something amazing coming up on December 4th or something? Like the first time in 800 years the planets are going to line up or something?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, Joy Electric, we miss you. Ronnie Martin, right now he's a pastor at a church in Ohio. He needs to quit and go back to his
music, man.
Yeah, go back to music. Make a real impact on the lives of...
Oh. So, as we wrap up this podcast on Thanksgiving Day, because we are 16 to 20 hours away from our families and unable to go home, I know we don't put up podcasts as often as we should, but I'm thankful that we have so many listeners. I just think that's really amazing. The fact that anybody would want to listen to anything that I have to say or you is just awesome.
Yeah, we moved. We're in a new studio in a different part of the country.
Yeah.
I'll just say, we used to live close to where Adam Ant used to live, and now we live close to where Vince Clarke used to live.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yay!
Hopefully we settle down in this area.
We hope so.
Yeah.
We really like it here.
Yeah.
So, yay!
Wherever it is.
Wherever it is. Wherever it is.
Ooh!
Hint.
Do you really want to let on where we are?
We're in New England. We can say that, right?
We're in New England, so we're Northerners now.
Yay!
Yay, Yankees! Woo!
I can't get behind the Patriots. I'm a Titan at heart, man.
Yeah.
But I am kind of intrigued by hockey.
Yeah.
We really, we watched a little hockey last night, and I was like, it just goes a little fast for me.
Yeah, it's a bit too fast.
It's a bit fast.
It's just like, this team's winning, and no, they're not winning anymore now.
We'll be together, nobody never gonna.
Thanks for listening to the 80 of the 80s podcast. You can download more episodes at TuneIn, Stitcher, or iTunes. Like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel. That name again, 80 of the 80s. Until the next song, this is AK-47 thanking you for your power play.
Stand there where you are before you go too far, before you make a fool out of love. Stop, don't jump before you look, get hung up on a hook before you make a fool out of love. Stop, stand there where you are before you go too far, before you make a fool out of love.
Whoa, that's good, big time.